was when God led the Israelites out of Egypt. And God said, I want you to celebrate this festival every year so that you can remember the lamb who covered the doorpost, and that you were safe when that lamb's blood was on the doorpost. Because the lamb's blood on this door was a representation of the future when Jesus would become the Lamb of God that takes away the sins of the world. So all of the Israelites are now in Jerusalem. And when Jesus rode in on that donkey, he was coming into Jerusalem during the special Passover week festival. And he wanted to celebrate the Passover meal because God told him, you have to eat special food on the Passover. And so Jesus said, I want to do the Passover with my friends. And so Jesus was looking at his 12 friends. They were called the disciples. And he looked at them and he said, I love them. I love them so much, God. God the Father, thank you for giving me these 12 friends. He goes, I'm going to love them till the very end. And you know, up in heaven, the apostles right now are with Jesus, and they've got their names written up in heaven. That's how much Jesus loved them. He goes, I'm going to love them till the end. Well, he was looking at them, and they were bickering and fighting. And they were saying, I'm better than that disciple. No, I'm Jesus' favorite. No, I'm Jesus' favorite. I'm his best friend. No, I'm his best friend. And he looked at him with love. And so instead of saying, stop fighting, I love you all the same, Jesus decided to show them how much he loved them. And remember, in those days, everybody wore sandals. And your feet would get very dirty. And when you would come into somebody's home, there would be a servant. Now, this job of this servant was the worst job that you could have. Washing people's stinky feet was the low of the low. So all of a sudden, when Jesus sees them all fighting amongst themselves, he stands up. They're all sitting on the table bickering. And he stands up and they're like, oh, Jesus is standing up. And they start looking at him. And he does something very interesting. He takes off his Jewish robe. Oh, why is he taking off his robe? He takes off his robe, and then he goes, and he puts an apron on. They're like, what is he doing? Why is he putting on a robe? Why is he putting on an apron? He puts on an apron. He's not saying anything. He's just showing them. He puts on an apron, and then decides to get a washcloth. And then he goes around the table, and he gets some water. He puts it on a basin, and he kneels in front of everybody who's sitting there. Now this is Jesus, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the creator of the whole universe, is kneeling down like the lowest of servants in front of his friends. And he takes off their sandals. He doesn't mind if there's toe jam and stinky feet. He dips it in the water. He puts the water in here. And he starts washing the disciples' feet one at a time. And they're just looking at him going, whoa. The God of the universe, the Son of God, is washing my feet. Well, when he got to his friend Peter, now Peter was the one that walked on water with Jesus. Remember, he's the one that jumped out of the boat and walked on water? Well, when Peter sees him at his feet, he goes, no, whoa. He's like, what are you doing? And Jesus looks at him and he goes, Peter, you don't understand what I'm doing right now, but you will understand one day. And so he starts, and then Peter goes, no. Jesus, there is no way that you're washing my feet. Now, the reason he didn't want him to watch it is because he knew that he was the king, the Son of God. And Peter's like, no way is the Son of God going to wash my feet. And so Jesus goes, Peter, if I don't wash your feet, you can't be a part of me. You can't be close to me. And so then Peter goes, oh, I want to be close to you, Jesus. He goes, wash me all over. Dunk me in there. But Jesus goes, I don't need to wash your whole body, Peter, because he said, you already have me in your heart. You're already in there. You're already clean on the whole body. He said, I just need to wash your feet. Because, he goes, Peter, you're going to be walking places and you're going to make some bad choices. He goes, but I'm still in there. He goes, so when you walk and you decide to make a bad choice, he goes, I just need to wash your feet. When you make a bad choice in the future, he goes, just say, Jesus, I'm sorry I made a bad choice today. He goes, Peter, I'm just washing your feet. That's it. You're already clean. But, he said, one of you 12 does not have me in your heart. One of the 12 that are sitting here, he goes, didn't put me in their heart. Mm-hmm. And guess who it was? It was Judas. Remember Judas, one of the 12, who got mad because of the perfume and said, we could have given that money to the poor. And he went to the Pharisees, the religious leaders, and he said, for 30 pieces of silver, I'll tell you where Jesus is and you can go arrest him. And so Jesus knew that this very night, Judas was going to betray him. But guess what? When Jesus got to Judas, You think he said, I'm not washing your feet. You're going to betray me for 30 pieces of silver. You think that's what he did? No. Jesus loved him, and he washed his feet. Knowing that he was going to betray him a few hours later, he washed his feet. And so when Jesus stood up, he looked at the disciples and he said, he goes, the reason I did this is because you guys call me Lord. You guys call me your teacher. He goes, well, if I'm your Lord and I'm your teacher, then do what I do. He goes, this is an example to you, to love your enemies. Love your enemies. Even if somebody is mean to you, you're going to love them anyways. He said, do unto others. Don't think you're so good that I'm better than everybody else. He said, think of yourself as lower than people and serve them. He goes, and if you do what I do, that's what Jesus told him. If you do what I do, you'll be blessed.